and welcome to Round Robin. I'm your host, Robin McCormick with the City of Hampton. And today we're going to take a look at one of the institutions of higher learning that's right here in Hampton, Thomas Nelson Community College. And my guest is the president there, Dr. John Dever. Welcome.
Thank you, Robin. It's good to be back with you.
We have talked before. In fact, you were one of my first guests when we started Round Robin.
And it was one of my first appearances after I became president of Thomas Nelson. So I'm delighted to be back with you.
Isn't that great? And now that, we've been doing this, each of us, for a few years, things have changed on your end. Thomas Nelson is really a constantly changing place to suit the economic and educational needs.
Well, that's one thing that we pride ourselves on, is responsiveness to the needs and aspirations of our community. And so as those change and as we work with our programs and services to make sure that we are in line with those. And throughout that, we are always committed to doing it with excellence.
Your mission then really is, it's broad.
Mm-hmm, yes.
It's not
we call it comprehensive.
Yeah.
Yes, and so the way I get, the shorthand I give for this is that Thomas Nelson is there to provide convenient and affordable access to high-quality collegiate education and workforce training for the residents of the Virginia Peninsula. And so we put all that together, and we try our best to do that day in and day out, and we think we're very successful in our efforts.
Well, let me talk about affordability, because it's been a huge issue as more and more kids have taken on large loans to get through college, or have gone and gotten advanced degrees, especially when the job market was a little squishy, and taken on more loans. How does Thomas Nelson work into that equation?
Okay, well, of course, again, affordability is very, very important for us, combined with excellence, which gives us value. We work to keep our tuition as low as possible. That's from our mission from the very beginning, from when we got started in the 1960s. Today, for our fall semester, starting in the fall 2016 semester, the tuition will be $151.45 per credit hour. To translate that, what that means is that a student can get a full year at Thomas Nelson, 30 academic credits, 1/2 of an associate degree, 1/4 of a baccalaureate degree, for just over $4,500.
Now, I'm doing some math in my head because I'm the parent of some college students, and that is less than half.
That is exactly
the tuition at other state institutions.
We're committed to being less than half, and in fact, it's down around a little bit over a third of what that is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
then, the other thing is that people can live at home, and that people can have a job to pay for at least some portion of their tuition. It's just a different mix.
Yeah, and so many of our students do have life commitments other than education, family, job. We're used to dealing with those, and we work very closely with our students to see that they can fit education in with the other commitments that they have in their life. 50% of our students receive some form of financial aid or other. And so that, again, is another aspect that makes Thomas Nelson affordable for so many students, and allows them to proceed with minimum debt for those whose goal is to get a baccalaureate degree.
And of course, there are some careers or professions where an associate's degree might be the end of the line, or some professional certification, or things like that.
Well, our program, again, in our comprehensive mission, we have 6 programs that are designed primarily to match up with the majors that students would pursue at universities. And then we have around 24 programs in the career and technical areas for students whose primary goal is to move on immediately after Thomas Nelson to employment and a career. Now, for many students, there's a combination of the two. And students who sometimes go on for baccalaureate degrees come back to us for a career and training. And those who pursue careers discover the power of learning, their capabilities, and they now become interested in further education. In the area of career programs, we have the health professions, and we have
booming as those of us in the baby boomer generation
exactly.
Begin to age and are going to need more care.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the huge need.
Nursing is one of our major programs. We take on 60 students here at our Hampton campus each year, and 30 students at our historic Triangle campus in Williamsburg each year. The students in Hampton start in the fall. The students in Williamsburg start in the spring, and therefore a student who might not make it in one class can make it in the other. We also have our dental hygiene program up at the historic Triangle campus. Of course, that's a very, very competitive program, and we have to limit the enrollment on that. And we've invested recently strongly in our emergency medical services for the EMT basics and for the paramedics that are the first responders and so essential
Again, those medical
to our
fields,
society.
You know, when you look, Hampton has the combined firefighter EMT, and 90% of the calls are EMT. I mean, there's so much that they do.
We are a major provider of that, and again, because that's so critical to our community, we've invested over the past 3 years very significantly in that program. We are also in the area of business and public services. Of course, we have programs like accounting, we have management, we have paralegal services, we have administrative support technology, we have social services and other areas that we offer there. In the area of the technologies, we have our efforts that are engaged with mechanical engineering technology, electronics, automotive, HVAC, and we're giving special attention these days to advanced integrated manufacturing and mechatronics and programs in those areas.
Well, and that's so important for the workforce here. And in Newport News, where you have, you know, the factory isn't the simple repetitive tasks anymore. They're very high tech.
Yeah, they're automated and they're digitally controlled, and there are wonderful jobs and careers available there, but you really have to know what you're doing with that. Our two programs that we've been developing in that, in particular, one is a more rapid program. It's accelerated in mechatronics. We received a major Department of Labor grant that allowed us to invest over $500,000 in a mechatronics lab that we have placed at New Horizons Regional Education Center, which, as you know, is right next to us on Butler Farm Road in the Hampton. They had the space. We actually didn't have the space. And with the lease, they've been able to renovate that space. We put the equipment in. We've hired strong faculty for the program. And we have certifications for that program that are international from Siemens, level 1 and level 2 in mechatronics. In fact, our faculty go to Berlin to be certified themselves to offer that. So that's up and running, and this fall we will actually be doing dual enrollment for high school students in the morning, and then in the afternoon and evening serving our adult student populations in mechatronics. The other major program we have, we call it the AIM program, Advanced Integrated Manufacturing, is a 2-year associate degree program that is designed to give students project-based learning, that is learning by doing. And with required rotational co-ops. They will go through a number of work-based experiences with a variety of companies in our areas. And the goal there is to see the manufacturing process in a variety of areas in a very broad way. so that
Great experience.
these are the people that our companies tell us are their most valuable employees. They work between the engineers and the administration on one hand and the production workforce on the other. They see the big picture. They're the people who keep everything going. They can problem solve. They can communicate. They can innovate with the efforts. So we have that long-range program in advanced integrated manufacturing, and then the accelerated program in mechatronics. And so we feel like we're really responding to that critical need that's particularly important here on the Virginia Peninsula.
Well, I think that is also what's different about your mission from a traditional college is traditional colleges would serve the students who may come from anywhere and go back to anywhere for the job. And here you're very geared towards serving the people who live here and serving the businesses to help train the right kind of workforce, again, whether that's accountants or whether that's auto mechanics or sophisticated technology.
Well, again, we are blessed in Hampton Roads to have wonderful institutions of higher education and with a variety of different missions. But one of the things that sets Thomas and Nelson apart, as you say, is the great majority of our graduates are going to remain here and oftentimes are going to return to us at various stages of their life. I always like to cite the statistic that 45% of our students are age 25 or older. So they're coming back to us and getting the training and education to advance themselves for both their personal growth and their professional interest.
Lifelong learning is one of the buzzwords we hear now, and partly it's because we all change interests or we want some supplemental classes or we do something for fun, but partly it's careers are almost never a straight line anymore. You meander. You don't, my grandfather once told me, you must be very unhappy if you want to change jobs. You've only worked there for 25 years. I'm like, yeah, no. But then once he retired, he actually taught. So, he had 2 careers too. But most of us, we zigzag a little bit.
I've certainly zigzagged in mine as well. I certainly did not think I was going to end up here when I started back in 1975 as an instructor of English at Thomas Nelson.
So you came back too.
I've seen my own career change again in line with the opportunities that are out there and the needs that are out there. And working in that regard. We know from many of our students that, in fact, we actually don't know the jobs that they're going to be in 10 or 15 or 20 years.
We don't know what jobs are going to exist in 20 years.
But we can prepare them to be learners. We can prepare them with the fundamentals. We can prepare them with the basic employability skills and general education skills that they need to deal with any situation as it comes along. And we view that as our role in education. I want to tell you about one other program, if I could, that is particularly important for Hampton and of course all the peninsula, and that is our cybersecurity program that we are investing in. And it was actually Hampton Economic Development that years ago got with Thomas Nelson and said, this is an emerging field. It's going to be very, very important in this region. Can Thomas Nelson help us prepare the workforce in this area? And so in conjunction with Hampton Economic Development and our university and other partners, we have worked over the years to have an annual conference that's devoted to cybersecurity. We have developed a number of workforce programs to get people the certifications that are highly valued in the field, like the CISSP, certification, ethical hacker certification, and others. And we are now developing academic programs in that regard for the people who come in who might not have the experience in the field, but who want to see the opportunities here and grow in that. And we are seeking to become a Center of Academic Excellence, which is a federal designation for cybersecurity at Thomas Nelson. So that's another area that we're giving a great deal of attention to. And again, it's not just Thomas Nelson. Norfolk State University, Old Dominion University is also working on that. And of course, we are often involved in particular programs or grants that they're pursuing in those areas.
Part of the regional confluence of
Right.
academic excellence in this area.
Partnerships, collaboration, cooperation, that's so, so important. None of us can do it on our own. We all need to come together and figure out our particular opportunity that we can do and what we can do best, but we need to do it in conjunction with each other.
Absolutely. And I want to say, just from my personal experience, all three of the young men who live at my house have gotten academic credits at Thomas Nelson for different reasons at different times. They've sometimes succeeded or dropped out or come back. It's people, again, don't have that straight path. You know, I've got the one son who was at the governor's school and had the dual credits.
Right.
And I've got another one in auto
that.
mechanics and one working his way through an associate's.
Yeah.
And it's flexible.
Well, I often say, Robin, that there's no better perspective on what we do than the parents' perspective.
Well, the kids, I hope, because some
Yeah.
of them aren't kids anymore. But yeah, I think one of the things you guys really bring is that you work with each individual and what their circumstances are. Because not everybody can go off and live at a four-year college and then magically get a job after.
I have the own experience with my own son, who graduated from Thomas Nelson with an associate degree in science, turned into quite a scholar there, and now has a PhD in biochemistry. Of course, I'm very, very pleased with him. But I saw the transformation took place at Thomas Nelson.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you so much, and please keep doing what you're doing.
It's always great to be with you.
We
Thanks so
appreciate
much.
it. And thank you for watching. I hope if you have a young person interested in education or just want to take some classes or retrain, re-prepare yourself to change jobs, you will think about Thomas Nelson. It's a great asset in our community.